What would you say is like your number one tip to find customers in 2023?
The number one tip I would say, from my perspective is know exactly who you are speaking to psychologically, really niche down into the individual of what is the individual that you're actually trying to get to, and psychologically, what are they going through? Because if you know what they're going through, their pain points, the things that they're looking for, then the types of magazines they read, the types of podcasts they listen to, the types of masterminds they might be a part of. And so then you can actually reach out to those individuals, and whether you want to do paid ads or collaborate and, do some type of other mastermind, you can attract those types of individuals.
How are you finding that information? Like, how are you being able to work out exactly what they're going through or what they're dealing with?
Yeah, I have a background in psychology, so I kind of already have that.
You just know it.
Yeah, just kind of know it. But and for my market specifically, so our market is ambitious businessmen, right? So I already, being one of those, I kind of did some insights into the self and identified, okay, well, the areas of shame and guilt and struggle might be around providership, might be around the idea that I'm not worthy, that might be around the idea that I have to do more, be more, that I'm not, appreciated by my feminine partner, right? So I kind of knew the insights of that individual kind of going into it. But if you are looking for it and you don't know that kind of market, one of the easiest things to do is literally go to that market. Literally just if you want to work with women, go ask them, hey, what are you struggling with? And not your customer specifically, but just ask people that you might want to work with. And then they'll give you insights of hey man, I've been struggling with this or doing this, whether it's a product based or a product or a service based company.
So I love that. One of the things I like doing along those kind of lines is finding an event that draws like-minded people together already,
yes.
Whether it's a convention, an exhibition, or even just like a meetup. And then when you go there, you've got this group, and I'll often go around and try and find a whole bunch of them to come to dinner with me. And then at the dinner, I'll be like, all right, what's your favorite podcast? Where's your favorite blogs that you guys hang out? And I'll literally just make a list of all the things. I'm like, all right, these are the places I want to go. And I love that you mentioned ad spend. I hate paid advertising. It's I think I've spent more money wasted on paid advertising
yes.
than most Americans make in a lifetime, just to put that in perspective of how much I've wasted. But what I love is paid promotional opportunities on platforms that have already curated the audience. So if there's a podcast you really want to appear on, I have a buddy, he's one of the top 100 podcasts of all time, and to pay to get advertising to the kind of people on that podcast
yes.
would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars,
yes.
but you can sponsor an episode for 20 grand.
Yeah.
And suddenly it's man, if I really wanted to be on that podcast, I could just pay 20 grand and say to him, hey, the one thing I want along with the advertising is to be in that episode. And it's, 5 times cheaper than paying for advertising. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ways. So I love that suggestion.
Yeah.
It's really, really strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Same question. Best way to find customers in 2023?
Yeah, so it's really been working well for me. I'm always testing and trying new things, but I've been doing a lot of SMS marketing, so text message marketing. And what I found was, first, I was just kind of blasting out to a lot of people. If you already have a list, I think the best place to start is your old customers, your dead leads. I think that's really the best place to find customers. But what I started doing was I set up automations. So I have the SMS, it'll go out one day. Then right after that, it's a ringless voicemail drop. So it's just a voicemail message. It just shows right up right after. Then I repeated it. So then it goes the next day, same thing. Then it takes a break and you can keep repeating it. So I do it about over 7 days. And on the 7th day is kind of like a final one, hey, I haven't been able to touch you. And I'm doing this with cold people. I'm doing this with dead leads. And it's working really well. And I'm finding even sometimes on the last message, you're oh no, I've just been busy. Or, oh no, I do actually want to sell my house, or, actually have been thinking about this. And then I kind of figured they'd be annoyed, but it's been working really well.
So let's just get this. So you've got an automation system where you send an SMS, then a direct to voicemail.
Right.
And you alter one a day every day?
So it's back to back. So it's
back to back.
So over a week. So
it's
I do the voicemail drop and then right after the text.
Wow, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. What service are you using to do?
So I built up my own campaign on Go High Level. So I just kind of built up the automation on there.
That's brilliant, right? So yeah, that's a great strategy. How are you initially getting the phone numbers?
So I do skip tracing. So I'll pull lists, or I'll get lists from different places, or I'll pull lists from the county. Then I'll send them to a skip tracing service. One I use is called Batch Skip.
Batch Skip?
Yeah, batchskip.com. And it's 15 cents or so. And there's some other ones out there too. They'll just send you a CSV file. It'll have all the numbers in there and you just put it in and then it's good to go.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So, what I love about this is what I would call a tactical strategy. So in business, you've got strategies and tactics. Strategies are things that would work any period of time in the history of mankind. So I like to imagine if I got teleported back to ancient Rome, my business strategies would work. Like I could literally find a group of people using your concept that all have the same kind of grievances. And then I could use that to identify where they will hang out. And then I could do my marketing based on that. Batch skip probably wouldn't work in Roman times unless you were going to invent it and technology. So that becomes a tactic. But tactics are one of those things that they only last for a period of time, but they're far more financial if you use them at the right moment. So what's great about this, for everybody listening and for the people that are here in the live audience, I would do that like right now, because who knows how long that's going to last, but you should do it while you can. That's great. Very, very, very useful.